When it comes to monarchies in Europe, the British royal family is always the first that comes to our minds. However, they are only one of 12 ruling monarchies on the continent. Let us find out how the 1950s Danish law allowed Margrethe II to become Queen of Denmark. Before we continue, you are most welcome to Kerry Royal Channel. Britain can boast of its royal family BLC of the present of Queen Elizabeth II, who ruled for 70-year reign, which is the second longest in world history. The only other European queen with this title is Queen Margrethe II of Denmark. She ascended the throne in 1972 after the death of Frederick IX of Denmark per Royal Central. Margrethe is only the second queen to sit on the Danish throne. The first was Margrethe I of Denmark, the daughter of Valdemar IV of Denmark. She married Håkon VI of Norway and was considered a consort and regent due to her father being king. This was despite the Danish Act of Succession favoring a male heir, but thanks to a certain change in law centuries later, Margrethe was crowned Queen of Denmark. But why did this happen, and how did it help Margrethe become heir presumptive to the Danish monarchy? The Danish Act of Succession was changed in 1953 at the time of Queen Margrethe II of Denmark's birth in 1940. There was no constitutional way she would rule the Nordic country one day, as only males were permitted to inherit the throne. But on March 27, 1953, royal Danish women were finally given the right to succession. However, there was a catch. Despite women being given the opportunity to ascend the throne, men were still sought after as heirs, meaning a girl would be skipped over as heir presumptive if they had a younger brother. But Margrethe remained heir presumptive as she had two younger sisters, Princess Benedict of Denmark and Queen Anne-Marie of Greece. Margrethe was 13 years old when this change to the Act of Succession was enacted, but it would be a while before she took to the throne herself. After her father's death, she was crowned Queen of Denmark in 1972. Denmark altered the Act of Succession. Even further, it took even longer for the Danish Act of Succession to be changed further, i.e., that the firstborn would become the reigning monarch, regardless of gender. It wasn't until 2009 that Denmark voted for a historical change in the line of succession. After a vote, an overwhelmingly large 84.6% of voters supported the change. In response, then Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen said the decision is a strong signal that shows that we want to be a society where men and women have the same opportunities, whether it is for ordinary people or princes and princesses. 2 years later, the British monarchy followed suit and announced a change in their Act of Successionship, and ever since then things have remained the same. Thanks for watching and God bless you.